Okay, we're live. There we go. It's James speaking, trainingsites.io. Welcome to another Wednesday at 1 o'clock where we do live calls, everything about education, starting, building, growing education business using AI and building out communities. So I just want to welcome everyone who's here. And just a quick reminder, these are live. If you have any questions, make sure to put them in the chat. And as always, trainingsites.io/join the community is free there. So um, the I've been focusing really hard. Well, I've been talking about agents since last year, and I think in the last month, 4 to 6 weeks, things have really changed for the whole AI space, and a lot of people don't know about it in terms of how they actually use or what the purpose of any of these AI tools are. And I think Claude has done a really good job, specifically co-work, getting people interested in things called skills and agents. So I thought it might be a good idea to kind of talk about that, see what people have as questions about it. If you want to build a skill, we can certainly do that. And I can show you some of the things that I've been doing. And in fact, some stuff that I did in the last 10 minutes, just to show you how all of this skill stuff works. The other thing that I did that I can show you is yesterday, I actually had Claude build out a WordPress plugin for me to try and measure how much money I was saving by using all of these skills. So I'll show you that. It's pretty interesting. I don't know how accurate it is, but it just gives you an idea on some of the things that can happen when you start thinking a little bit differently about what's going on with Claude. Now, I'm going to pull over a screen here and show you what's going on. This is actually running in the background now, and hopefully it finishes up for me before we actually get going with this. So this is actually Claude working right now, and this is Claude Cowork, and we'll get to it in a second. But the reason I want to show it to you is if you look down at the start here, I'll just show you how we got started. This was this morning, maybe a couple minutes ago. And let me do this one so you might be able to see it a little bit better. So this particular one, what I was doing here is I said I better let the subscribers know that I'm doing a live stream today, and I gave them the link. So what this did is it actually wrote the announcement email and saved it as a draft in my CRM. And all I had to do was click send. So if you're on my list, you hopefully got that done. So it's got a big red join the live stream button linking to the YouTube page, and it's set to my subscriber list. All I need to do is open it and click send. And I also said create a YouTube introduction for my live stream today that covers building the first Claude skill. I want to show what it is, how to use them, and then build one. And what it did here, if I go take a look at it, here is my intro script that it wrote. So what I was going to do is I was just basically going to go through and read this live, how to build your first Claude skill, even if you've never written a line of code in your life. So it basically built out in a couple minutes, look directly at the camera, drop a comment below and let me know and where you're watching from. So maybe I'll ask that now. Make sure to find out where you're watching from. The setup, why this matters for people who teach or in the space. It's even giving me the timing for it. It tells me to lean in or lean out. The roadmap for the show, where it goes in, quick reference notes. So again, all of this was done this morning just by this one single conversation that I had with Claude Cowork. Wrote the script, it's there. And then I said, how about a community post that explains what I did during the session, not about what the specific content is. Do a task you picked up and did the work. So again, I just want to show you quickly kind of how this all fits together. Is what it did is it went to my community and it logged in as my, there it is right here, my community agent. Hopefully you can be able to see this one. And I think on the screen here, we've got I'm just going to make sure I pull this up because it looks like one of the screens is looking, oh, it's not there. Let me do this one. I had the wrong screen on it. My apologies. So we'll do this. I got to just make a shift here. My apologies. Let me just make sure I'm looking at the right camera here. I switched screens. Oh, what a bummer. Which one do I want to use here? Let's do the primary one. There we go. My apologies. Sorry about that. What a bummer. Okay, here we go. Let's go back and I'll just show you what I was looking at again. There, that's better. Um, yeah, so what I was saying, unfortunately, is I just did this morning before we came on, took a couple. You're killing me, man. Showing the wrong screen again. How embarrassing. Hang on with me. Let's do the primary screen. Okay, that should be better. In the primary screen, I'm going to do this. How can I do this? This is what happens when you do these live by yourself. So let's see what I can come up with here that works. There we go. That should be better. Okay. So basically what happened is I've just had a couple conversations beforehand. Some of the things I did was the email that I was talking about. I also did the update, and I actually had it go and post some information about what I did as an example, and it posted it here directly to the community. And the only reason I'm showing you this today is that all of these things that I did just in the half hour beforehand were things that normally we all would have had to do either manually or given to a VA or someone that was there trying to help us out. So here's a situation now where you and I and everyone who's in this space, starting in the last couple weeks, this is easy to do and it's only going to get easier. So the question becomes, how do you create your skills, or how do you pick the ones that do this kind of thing, and how do you build them? So if there's people that have stuff or ideas that they want to go and work on with these, I would love to find out about them, see what you're working on, and actually go through those as well. Now, I'm gonna go back here. Let's see if we can go back on the screen. Yeah, so who's here? What do we got? Where are people from? Who's here? What questions do you have? And I'll do my best to kind of answer them and go through the whole story on what kind of skills you guys can create if you want to, and how those might actually work. So what is everyone working on? What do we got here? From Japan, Tokyo, Japan, West Palm Beach, Florida, connected. Yeah, let me know. So, what are some other ones? And I'm really kind of disappointed with the screens here. Maybe I can do it. I did switch it. Let me just see if I can do it this way while we're talking. And display settings. I changed the monitors around, so that's why we've got this little issue that's working on here. And I'm going to do this one. We'll do this as we'll do this one as the main display. We'll do this one as the extended display. There we go. Let's see if this works any better. Perfect. And let's go here. Fighting with this one. There we go. Much better. Now we'll get this going here. So again, I apologize for the mix-up on the screens, and we'll move these over and get these working a little bit better. There we go. Okay. Yeah. So, okay, who we got here? What's happening? Who's doing stuff? Any questions that we want to work on? We got effective journeys. Did you just want to build a skill, see how that works? Give me a thumbs up if you want to do that. You want to see where skills are, where they fit in Claude. Um, the whole excitement for me is now we're in a position where regular people can do a whole bunch of things really quickly, but you have to figure out what are the things that need to be done. And if you're just starting on this and trying to figure it all out, one of the things that you can do is make sure to go to trainingsites.io. And I did create 250 skills that are available for you to go and start to play with. And the thing when you're using skills, you're going to hear me use you're going to hear me use skills, plugins, and agents. I'll try and go over where those actually fit all together. But I look at it when I'm talking about skills, think of it as I'm talking about employees or staff that is very, very, very good at doing a specific task. And those tasks are some of the ones that I've got here in the skills. So for example, for content production, if I want to do one that builds out case studies, for example, or if I want to do one that, for example, plans out my content, or for example, edits the copy, or maybe it writes course modules. These are all employees that I have that have a specific set of skills. And there's 250. Those are available for you to use. So, just to play around, if you're not sure what they do, for example, just come in and take a look at it. And this skill, or my employee, writes complete course modules and lessons, gives real world examples and practice assignments. And I have to describe what the student should learn and the skill structures, and it'll do out the full modules. And that's just an example, and this is how it works. So this is a skill. You can click and download it and install it, which I'll show you in a second, and you now have that employee that's available to you. The other one that you'll hear is one called a plugin. I refer to it kind of as an agent. And when I'm thinking of those people, I'm thinking of, I have a department manager who has a number of employees that works for it. So one of the examples, and these are agents that I have, and I do sell these agents. I'm calling them agents. I do ones, for example, that, if I'm doing a live class, or maybe it could be live coaching, for example, what this one does is it has some employees. One of the employees is really good at putting together class agendas. Another one is good at figuring out the activities for the class. Some of there's some use cases, some of them create presentations, and some of them publish the actual courses to something through an LMS. So this department head has access to all of these employees, so that I can give the department head something that says, get me ready for my class, and I'm covering this topic today. And it will actually go and do all of the work by knowing what employees it has and what they should be producing. So employees, department heads are the two things. Think of skills and what Claude calls plugins. I kind of refer as to these agents which have all of these employees. Now, the other thing that you're going to hear me talk about is something called connectors. And this is the example of, here's some examples of what that kind of piece is if I have employees in the office, they need to have some tools, right? If they don't have a computer, if they have a computer but no monitor, if they have a keyboard and a mouse and a computer, and they have a printer and they have paper, they have all of these tools that are available to them, including the other employees in the office. So if you hear terms like connector or model context protocol, MCP, all these are sets of tools that the employees can use and the department can use to do additional tasks or get additional data and be able to use it to finish the kind of work. So that's kind of where it all fits in. And I know Keith, one of the questions Keith had here about building out the privately branded campus, this is kind of interesting because one of the connectors that I'll show you, I have a connector to my privately branded campus, which is trainingsites.io. And building out your office or your AI operating system, which in my case is Training Sites, or your privately branded campus, that becomes the tool where your data is, that you can now have your employees and your agents use and or add to or edit to. So I think of the privately branded campus and now these agents as a training site operating system, and everything runs from there. So that particular piece, I think for 2026, again, this is my personal 2 cents. This is where I think the shift in with OpenClaw, since it came out, the real shift now is the shift from, I used to use AI as a tool to get some kind of output from it that I would use somewhere else. And the big shift now is that we can have not only tasks, but actual complete parts of our business taken care of by these department heads and the agents and the skills that are there. But you need to have the right skills and the right goals, and those are some of the things that we'll cover in the future. So there we go. Yeah, so Keith, we'll cover that one in a second if you have specific questions. I'll just go through Claude, where it is, how it works, so you can actually go and see this. And the one thing that I will tell you is I am using, and I'll open this up so that you can see it. I am using, and if you've seen some of the other videos, you'll be able to recognize this. But I'm using Claude Code and Claude on the desktop. It is available both for Windows and for Mac. And when you are using it, you'll see that it's the one that's installed on your machine. Don't use the one, or you can't really use the one for doing this kind of work if you are on the web version. So you're going to have to get this. And I highly recommend, in my sense right here, we'll just, in mine, bottom left-hand corner, sorry, you'll see that it says Max Plan there. I'm on the paid version. They have a $20 one, a $100 one, and a $200 one. I'm in the $100 one. You can do this with the $20 one, but if you get very, very long workflows, it may kind of crash out and run out of, you may use all of your usage for a set period of time and kind of get it to stop. So this is one that I was trying to show you earlier. This is what I did just this morning. Write the email, and then I wrote the email and I said add it or send it to my list. And that's exactly what it did. I sent that to everyone. It put it into my CRM, my privately branded campus. So the Claude Cowork was able to use a skill that I'd given it for writing email copy, and it was able to use the connector to my privately branded campus email marketing, which is Fluent CRM, and it basically did the work. I gave it a little bit of a description. It wrote the email and made it ready to send out in my CRM. So those are two pieces, a skill and a connector that was there. And this was me manually invoking it by telling it to do it. Then I had creating the introduction, which it created the actual live stream script, which is the one, sorry, that you were supposed to see a little bit earlier, which was there. And again, I'll make these all available for you. And then the one was, I asked it to do a post in the community, which it did. And the other thing it was doing just before I came on here was, show you this one, hopefully. Oh, it's still working. I said, create a PowerPoint presentation for it. So we'll let this run in the background so that you can actually go see it. So here we are in Claude. In the desktop, you can always tell that you're in the paid version because it will have at the top here, chat, cowork, and code. And if you've heard of Claude Code before, some people talk about Claude Code. That is similar to Cowork, and the engines are the same, but Claude Code does a couple little things differently, and it's has a command line. So if you're a developer and you're more building apps, that kind of stuff, and you're comfortable having a little more technical interface with these AI tools, you can use Claude Code to do the exact same things I'm doing here in Cowork. That's not me, so I use Claude Cowork, which is like a wrapper for business people over top of Claude Code. And this is what it looks like. So if you're in Cowork, it says new task. If you're in chat, it'll say new chat. Sorry, if you're in Cowork, it says new task. And the way that this works is that when you are in it, now on the left-hand side, you're going to see customize. And this is the part where they have skills and connectors are here. So there's no agents, which they're calling plugins. That's only in Cowork, but you can still do skills and connectors that are here on the desktop. So let's take a look and see what we have here. And again, did we have anyone that wanted to do a particular skill? Let me know if there's one you want to do, and I'll actually create it live here. But it's pretty simple. I have, if I click skills, you're going to see that I have my skills here. And there are some example skills, which are ones that come directly from Anthropic or from Claude. There's one here called Skill Creator. This is the one I'll actually use for Skill Creator. We'll use that one, I'll just call it. And then there's some of the other ones that I have are the YouTube script writer, which I just used, the community feed poster, which I just used. And then there was a couple, actually one called Agent Log, which I'll show you in a second. But these are some of the skills that I have, and those skills just came from the library we were just looking at here. So all I did is for any of these ones, I found a skill, and we'll do one-to-one coaching prep, for example. I'm going to download it. Just download it here in my downloads. So I've got my one-to-one coaching prep zip. I'm going to save it. I've already got one there because actually, let me do another one because I've already got that one installed. Let me know if there's one you want to see. What would be one that would be a little bit easier? I have a whole bunch in here, so they're in alphabetical order or by here. So let's do a content production one. We'll do a content planner one. So do I have content planner in? So we'll do content planner and you'll just see how it works. So this is how you install them. Just putting it in the downloads. Darn, I have that one too. I'll reinstall it. So I now have a file, which is my skill. And if I go back down now to Claude and I'm here and customize again, I'll just click it so that you see it. I'm going to go to chat. Let's go to customize. And in my case, I'm going to either create a new skill. I can do that right here, or I can go to my existing skills and just hit the plus sign here. So I'm going to go hit plus sign, and it shows the exact same thing here as it would if you were on the other screen. You can create with Claude. So I want to create a new one. I can do that. I can manually do it, or I can upload a skill. So I'm going to upload the skill, and it's just going to ask me for it. And again, these are the ones that I just downloaded or created for you. And we'll do the content calendar plugin. And there's already one here. I'm just going to upload and replace it so that you see where it's there. So I now have a brand new skill. I've got a brand new employee. I've given you 250 employees. So you can go download them. All 250 are yours. And the cool thing is when we have a skill installed, it's like I created the skills, but it doesn't mean you have to use it the exact same way. If you look in the upper right-hand corner, you can activate it or deactivate it, but also there's 3 dots there. If you do a left mouse click on the 3 dots, we can download it, we can edit it, replace it, delete it, or just try it. So for example, on this one, we'll just try it and I'll show you how they work. And this puts in some pre-populated, hey Claude, can you make something amazing with my content calendar? What's doing that? Let's do that. Can you make let's do it. Can you put together a plan? Put together a Easter marketing plan. Or we'll do spring break. So anytime that you're doing any of these things, this is exactly the same as the normal chat. If you wanted to go and add some files or material that you wanted to do. The other thing that's interesting, if you haven't seen this before, is you can also add to project. If you have projects, just like in ChatGPT or in my case in Claude, you can actually ground the discussion and the skill based on a project that you had running before. So I'm just going to give it this one right here. Claude Sonnet 4.6 is the basic new version. The other one is Opus 4.6 that I recommend you use when you're doing co-work, but we're just playing around with a skill right now. So what I'm going to do is click here and see what happens. So it's going to go through and start using the skill, and it will read through the skill, and it's going to read the employee's standard operating procedures, its rules on how I want it to exactly do that particular job. There we go. And file system integration, there we go. This isn't in the local one, looks like it's, there we go, which isn't directly. I know where the skill is to run it. And this is the cool thing that's kind of neat. If stuff kind of gets broken or doesn't work the way that you think it should, they'll go back and figure stuff out on how to do it now. When is spring break? I'm not really sure. We'll do March 22nd there. And I want to work on my list as an example. We'll promote an offer and a launch. What channels do I want covered? We'll do email, Fluent community post, social media, and we'll do YouTube. And I'm just going to go to the next one here. We're through and selected. So it's doing a little bit of homework with me. The skill is working, and now it's going to be going and doing all of the work for me. So I handed this off to my employee, right? It's gone. It's done. What am I offering? we'll do this one just for fun because it's there. Well, we'll do one. Here, we'll do this just because it's there. How much content can I really produce? I'm just going to repurpose stuff just for now because I have a lot of it. So it's going to clarify things. And again, this is the process that I built into the school. If you don't want to into the skill, if you want to go, you could have edited it and made it your own. And we'll come back and actually take a look at this when it's running. So it's building out the calendar. So what else we got here for questions? I know Keith, Keith asked me questions about the privately branded campus right now. I can certainly go and do that. And we'll take a look at that particular piece in the meantime. There's a lot of other things that are kind of running behind the scenes here. And let me just actually, we're going to do one. I'm going to go to, where are we? I'm going to go to customize, and I should be able to do this while this is all running. I don't know if it will in the chat. There we go. So one of the things that's here is connect the tools, right? And these are the ones that I was talking about earlier where you want to have access to additional pieces of software, additional data. You want to be able to add, edit, manipulate data, search data. There's a whole bunch of tools that you might want to use. And those tools, when you're using these tools, I highly recommend, in fact, I suggest that you use the Claude desktop version when you're connecting these. And the reason I'm saying that is that you may not be using some of these particular connectors that are the featured ones. And many of the tools that we all use are ones that are available here in the default one. So Gmail, Google Calendar, like there's Notion, Canva, Slack, Figma, HubSpot. These are all ones, Monday. These are all ones that are available off the shelf kind of thing. On the other hand, you'll see this little manage connectors one. You can also go and create custom connectors to your software or softwares. And these are the ones that are the web versions, but these are the ones that are all available on my desktop. And there's one here called AI Engine, which is a free plugin for WordPress. And what it does is it allows Claude desktop and Cowork specifically to go and use your WordPress site. I'm talking about adding, editing posts, everything on your WordPress site. You can do it from right within Claude. So that one's called AI Engine. It's a free one. It's a plugin. I'll put the link below. We've also got Claude in Chrome. So what that means to you is that if there's something that doesn't work in these connectors, it will actually go and log into your site with your permission, of course, and it will work on your site right within the browser. Content Studio is my one that I use for social media posting. I also have another one, which is a connector to a service called Blotato, which is a one that allows you to actually do graphics and shorts, which is a whole other kind of picture. I've also got Fluent Community, Fluent CRM, NAN, which I don't use, and I have my YouTube transcript one. So these are all ones that I created here. And this one called Apify is a scraping one. I have a free account there, so it will go and scrape information from LinkedIn or do research on other particular websites that I want and bring the data back so that I can actually have it as a tool available for a skill. Yeah, so someone had questions about YouTube transcripts, which I'll give a hand on shortly. So these are all of the ones that like I can connect to anything in my site because I've added these. And if you look at the ones like Fluent Community and Fluent CRM, these are ones that I just said to Claude, build a connector. And all I did is I said, here's the documents, the help docs for the developer docs for a piece of software. I said, here's the documents, build a connector. It built the connector. I didn't do any of it. So even if there's ones that don't show up, they're very easy to build. Some of the companies have ones you just install. It's a drag and drop install, like Apify is, Content Studio is. The Chrome control, the control Chrome AI engine ones, drag and drop file system is just a tick to get it working or not working. So those ones are all connected for the particular tools that you need or your employees would need. And I will talk about this one too, the campus, because just because it came up, is Dane was asking about, can you explain how we can have Notebook LM integrated. I do not have Notebook LM integrated at this point. Having said that, if you are in Claude Code, and again, I played around with this a little bit, you can add, there's one here if you want to go, and I think it's, can't remember where it is, but there's one here that you can add Notebook LM to Claude Code. So if you want to get a little more technical, you can actually go and have Claude Code connected to Notebook LM. I haven't done that personally. If you have, let me know in the comments below to actually go and do it. So it's doable. I haven't done it yet, and I'm not entirely sure how to do it. The one thing that I will show you, we'll go back and see if this is finished running here. Yeah, found some fixes. It's working on it. One of the things is when you're doing any of the new tasks or you're doing any of the chats we're here, you have projects, right? And projects, if I go and open up a project that we're working on, and I have, for example, the ones that I was doing on automation and agents for education business, these are all the chats that I had, right? And then on the right, I have all of the documents. I have special instructions, and I have, let me just make sure the documents there, you can see. I have added documents, and you can see I got 4 documents. It's only 1%. Special instructions, and then the memory, plus all of my chats that are here. So if you're thinking of Notebook LM and you like it because it uses the grounded information that you've done as research, this will do the same thing now by just creating projects around a course, a particular project that you're working on. You can add all of the files. You can go and say, these are chats and conversations that I had. So not only does it have access to the memory, it also has all of the different pieces that were here. And when you're working on it, you can look and say, hey, I want to, this is not a good example. We'll do a new chat here. If you want to, all you do is you say, add to project. And when you do that, what that means is whatever's doing on here has access to that data and is grounded on that particular data. So it's not Notebook LM. It doesn't have the output for the videos and the audios, and even the decks. I think they're equal now, and you'll see hopefully if that one got created. I think the decks are on par in Claude Cowork compared to what comes out of. I'd even argue that they're better than the ones that come out of Notebook LM. I haven't figured out how to do infographics, the video or audio yet. So if you need that kind of output specifically, you might want to do that. My other thing is that there is now, and I've been told I haven't used it, there's a connector in Claude Cowork for Nano Banana 2 or 3, whichever version it is. So if you can come up or have Claude Cowork create a really good description of what you want, there's a connector available so that you can just say to Nano Banana, hey, go and create it, and it will do something similar. But you have a lot more availability for the stuff that's happening there. So there, let's go back to this one because the other one wasn't switched. Okay, what do we got here? Beginning process. It's down. Okay, let's go see if we got anything that's running here, and then we'll go back to it. Yeah, that one has been running 56 minutes. It's still running in the background. It's taking a long time for that piece there. It's still working on it. So it's fixing some contrast and visual things on the right-hand side here, which is a bit of a bummer. So let's go take a look. I'll open it up, the desktop now. And so what was a question? Okay, so how do we get in Claude? Here's some of the ones. So that one was how process. I have some questions. Let me just go through here. I'm beginning of building the campus WordPress on hosting Fluent CRM and email lead magnet New York Times School compliance. Okay, keep DOS launch. Okay, how do we get Claude in Chrome? Okay, that's an easy one. I'll show you that one too. Big question, what's the minimum viable setup for launch? What can wait? And on Learn Dash, is Learn Dash necessary or the courses work without it? Can we start with WordPress pages posts and how to do, okay. So here's the first thing. If you want to have Chrome running on it, you'll see I have an extension here in the upper right-hand corner. If I just click on it, this is a Chrome extension, and you can see that it now shows up in the side. Now, the thing that's interesting is, and I've been talking to a lot of teachers, is that I have this as the instructor or you as the course creator. But you have to remember that this is a free plugin that anyone who is supposedly buying your course, they have access to Claude in your course or in your website or in your community. So it's just an extension. And for you, the part that's cool here is I can also set up, and I can't, let me just see if I can change the screen on this one again. So I have the wrong display on that one. I have the old display, and we'll put it to, where's the one that I want? Do camera A. Sorry about that. I'll try and figure that one in a second. So it's here. There's a one in the bottom. It's got a command that you can actually go, and when you click it, what it will do is it actually allows you to record some actions on it. So that one is there. It's available. And the way that you can get it is if you go to Claude.ai/download is where you actually download the software. So if you want to go and download it, you can do it there. And if I just remember, if I just put extension, can't remember what it is, but there's a download on the website for it. We'll see if it's a 404 here. So if you just want to go to extensions and open up the extensions, you can do it there as well. Visit the Chrome store, and you just do Claude AI Chrome extension. And it's this one right here. So you can actually go and install it. It's installed, and then it's just available as a regular extension. So that one is there and pretty easy to get a hold of. Okay, what do we got here? So what's kind of necessary for this whole kind of platform? I've done a couple of videos, and actually, here's a good example. I did get asked about what is the best platform to use. I'll come back to this too. This is the plugin that I built. So I'm just going to go to training sites right now. I'm going to go to the portal. This is a privately branded campus. This is running on WordPress. The one thing is, which is room for another discussion, is I think WordPress, in many cases right now, WordPress has a problem in terms of the plugin industry for it. One of the things that I think that's happening is that people are able to create the plugins or pieces that they need without having to purchase a set plugin. And I look at WordPress now as more of a content management software or system that is a platform to build my AI powered business on, not trying to figure out which is the best plugin to use to get it to do something specific. Now, having said that, I am using and I recommend a stack of plugins that are the Fluent community plugins. And the reason that I'm recommending that is it has the community, the LMS, the CRM, the booking. It has everything in one place. And that allows me to consolidate the data and the tools so that not only do I have access to it, but it means that everyone that does something on my site is in the CRM that is tied to the email marketing system. And if you don't have that, what you have to do is start connecting a whole bunch of pieces together. And if you want to find out kind of how this works, if you go to courses, and again, this is all free if you're not a member. I'll pull this down a little bit. We'll cover this one here. There we go. Yeah, so I'll pull this one down here. If you look right here, and if you just do a search, again, these are 75 courses. I personally have trouble with courses, the whole name of courses, but it is what it is right now. If you just do blueprint or playbook. So I put together playbook, my Fluent community playbook here. And what this is a series of lessons that slash course that allow you to figure out what you need in terms of setting up a community with Fluent CRM. And it goes through, picking a model, how to design the spaces, how you're going to monetize it, how to launch in the first 30 days. So this is all available to you. And in these particular ones, what I've done, which is covered in another video, is I've actually got skills that you can run to figure out how to do things. So I have a community structure generator, the community feed poster that I've used, and a lesson hook creator are ones that are part of this lesson. So having said that, what do you actually need to get started? A bare minimum is you can get started with free versions. I'm going to go to training sites. The first one is, you can write these down if you want, and they're all in the community as well. The first one is that you get a copy of WordPress up and running on a host that, on a real host. So don't use GoDaddy or something that's limited. Have a proper host. And I have some hostings that are accounts that are recommended. And in fact, we do host, and we have our own dedicated servers. And if it's something that you just want set up, I have a service. Our agency service will set up your campus for you with all of these plugins. But here's the bare minimum. You're going to need Fluent Community. And Fluent Community is this interface that you see here. It has a basic LMS, which are these courses that we were just looking at. So this is similar to LearnDash. It's not as robust as LearnDash. It doesn't do certifications like LearnDash, but at any time, I can go and take a look at a course, and I can edit the course by adding lessons and quizzes and sections. I can move it around, play around with it. I can set stuff as published and go and edit it. And it's just like a regular kind of WordPress interface with the Gutenberg editor that I can go and put all of the different pieces that are in there. A featured video, all sorts of stuff is available. So you don't need to buy LearnDash. If you just have basic courses and you're not offering certification, you don't need to do that. You've got that available right within the Fluent community piece. It does the part with the spaces, which used to kind of be called discussion groups. Think of them more as, Facebook groups. And those ones are all there. The other piece that I have is Fluent CRM, which is the same thing as ActiveCampaign. Those things have all of my contact details. It has email marketing automations and taggings. That is all here. They have a free version of Fluent CRM. I also use Fluent Cart, which is a replacement for WooCommerce. They have a free version that does all of the things WooCommerce does. They have one called Fluent Bookings, which is a replacement for Calendly that is there. They have Fluent Boards, which is exactly the same, not exactly, but it is a project manager for Kanban boards, that kind of thing. Now, the reason that I like that, and there's all free versions of these, that's a minimum that you need. So a WordPress site and the free versions will get you started. But here's the part that is really exciting for me specifically. If I go and we take a look at one of the skills that we have, and one of the skills that I did earlier was a sales call prep. And let me see if I can get my mouse back there. So I had a sales call prep one. And what that one did is, when I asked that skill, it went to the CRM and looked for the person to see if there was a note or it was in the database. It then went and did a LinkedIn search because the skill asked it to do that. It did searches on a couple other places, the person's website, and then it gave me a report, which is what I asked in the skill. And that report was super detailed, exactly what I wanted. And then after I had it, I said, update the contact record with the details of the report that you did. So it went out and searched it. It prepped me for a sales call, but it also went and updated the CRM. So if that person is in my CRM now, they're also in my community, and they're also tied to the cart. So everything is in one place, and that means that when I'm using Claude and these skills, they're all connected and all of the data is connected. So if I do things like we just did a little bit earlier when I was playing around with that one here when we're doing this chat's too big, it's stuck on something, which happens. When we're doing the other chat there, which was the spring break one that we had going, if I'm working on any of these particular skills, it allows it to update any of the different ones. So we've got a campaign overview, pre-launch for it, and it's even got some tags to use within the CRM that's created. We've got the launch date, subject line headings, the structures, bridges, everything that's there. Fluent community posts that are already done, weekly content. It's got social proof, what goes into the community, emails that get sent, social media that gets posted. And again, all of this content is done and it's all written for us. And it's tied to all of the tools that we have and all of the schools things that we have. So teaser, launch, what's inside, origin story, upsell bridge, urgency, hard close, optional wrap. And it's got the swipe files and the core messaging that's all there. So what do you want? Want me to write any of these in full? The launch email, the upsell bridge, the origin story, and this is one where you can actually get in to create the content. Now, if you had an agent that also had this part was built in, and you said, hey, I've got another employee that's really good at writing the actual one, it could have wrote it and then posted it to the social media post, etc., and on things. So, Keith, you were asking about that for LearnDash. You don't need Buddy Boss. You don't need LearnDash. You can get by with Fluent Community. And only, I'm saying only if you aren't using right now certification. I think LearnDash, which I've been using since 2015, I was one of the first users of it when it first came out. And I still have it on some clients, but if you're doing for certification, yes, it's something that I highly recommend that you do on that one. I don't use any of the ones external, and the reason is that they're not connected as well as this is to the context and what's going on. And then the second thing is that I own the data. If you have an active campaign account or a Beehive account or a Kit account, a Circle account, a Thrive cart or a Sam cart, what happens is that if you are creating a skill or you have an agent and you say, if someone purchases something in ThriveCart, what I want you to do is add them to a Kit subscriber list and send them an email message. And I want them to be added to my Circle account. There's just a whole bunch of moving pieces. The other thing that happens is when that's done, Kit owns your data, has all of that stuff. Circle has your community data and all of the interactions. That data is theirs. Thrive has all your shopping cart stuff. When we get into these agents this year moving forward, I just have to say, write an email to so-and-so. Or if someone buys something, they're automatically in the community. They're automatically in an automation in the CRM. And I can go and I can have a desktop that says, who are the people who have visited the community in the last week? Have any of them purchased? All of that stuff is available to the agents and the skills. So um, those ones are there. So what do we got? Not offering for certification. I've seen, and I will mention this, for certification, we have clients who have third-party resellers that need to be certified on a particular year. For example, show completion of course materials, which is fine. I also have ones where there's government regulations or sometimes internal companies require certification and they have to complete stuff, assignments, that kind of stuff. So there's still a place for it. But if you're a traditional marketing entrepreneur, edupreneur, course creator, I think certification technically is a waste of time at this point. My own opinion to that. And in fact, I think traditional courses are a waste of time. So if we want to talk about that another time, we could. I think there's much better ways to doing live learning experiences with flipped cohorts by teaching people how to use skills that you've created or apply this stuff so that they can generate their own content. So Claude extensions already included in the connectors. We just need to enable it. That's correct. Yeah, Gemini Nano Banana is really, really good for graphics. And I agree with you. It's not there for Claude, and I don't think they'll focus on it. They'll look at other the connectors. So I still use it for infographics. Like I go to Notebook LM for that. And I was showing a different screen. So I had some problems with that. I reconnected the displays. I've got 3 monitors here, and I reconnected to the display. So sorry about that working on. So I said I would come on and Did anyone come up with an idea for a skill that they wanted to create, and we can create that one right now? Do a new one. What do you want? Is there any idea for skill? Anyone got something? We should be able to create a skill. Give me an idea. No skills? No skills whatsoever? Okay, well, I've got one that's broken. We can do that one if you want. Thank you for continuing off. There we go. Thanks, Keith. No problem. Let's do one here. I'm going to do a skill that was missing. And one of the missing ones was, we'll go and take a look at the community right now. I'm going to go back to the feed. One thing I'm going to get, I did a feed. If you see, there's a person near here named Annalisa. Annalisa is my community manager. Now, Annalisa isn't a person. I have a grouping of skills and a community manager that has a number of skills that is now going around on the community. It goes twice a day. It's a scheduled agent that goes twice a day and has a series of things that it does. And it also looks at the CRM. It also looks at people who have not posted on the community, people who have just joined, and it's actually going out and doing work on my behalf that's there. So that's kind of the other stuff that's happening. Let me just see if we had a message. I had a message here earlier. I'm just pulling it up in the bottom right-hand corner because it was there was one of the tools that was missing. So there we go. So there was one that's a webinar to course module. So I'm going to copy this one, and it was missing. It was broken. So I'm going to pull it up here. We'll do webinar. Webinar to course module. So this was one that was created, but I didn't get it actually done. So this is the description that I originally had. So I'm going to go copy it. And this isn't the only way to do it, but this is the basic way to actually start creating skills. And hopefully if that cowork's not finished, it's still running. I'm going to do another one. So on this one, I'm going to work in a different folder, which is my Claude. We'll work in the Claude agents one. And in my case, I'm going to just say, create a new skill that converts webinar recordings and transcripts into structured course modules with lessons notes. So I have a skill that I want done because on a regular basis, I have a Zoom call, I have a transcript from some kind of coaching session or group coaching, and I want to turn it into a course module with lessons, notes, and assignments. So I want a complete learning experience extracted from the webinar, just add it to your course platform and ready for students. And I've said, I want you to create a new skill. Now, I could, when you create a skill, and you'll see this in a second, what the skill contains is a title of the skill and then a description of the skill. So if you create a skill with a really bad description, what'll happen is if I just say create a new skill, it may not recognize that skill. And you may have to say, use my skill creator skill to, but I'm just going to say create a new skill, and then I've given it the goal of the skill or the purpose of the skill. So I want a new employee that I can hand this off to. I'm just going to say, let's go. And what it should do is it should find the new skill or creator skill, and we'll see what it actually looks up with. And it's going to work on it. Thinking. Now, it does take a little bit longer. On the right-hand side, there's a couple little screens here. One of them is, hopefully you can see it, this is the agents that it's running. It's one internally, but you can see the context here. See where it says skill creator? So it has figured out I need to use this employee, my skill creator employee, to do this particular work. And it's saying, hey, we did it for the skill creator tool, a webinar to, before I do this, let's nail down some details. So what format is it going to be in? And this is one where you can say both of them. It might be raw text, it might be a YouTube video, it might be a Zoom transcript that I put together. I'm just going to click all of them. And should the skill publish directly to Fluent community, as course sections and lessons, or should it just produce content for me to review first? Now, here's an example of if I'm using this, it knows that I'm using Fluent Community. On the other hand, if you have this installed and you do the exact same thing that I did by asking for a skill that creates a webinars, it knows, it has a memory now of who you are, what your business is about, and it will give answers that, if you're using LearnDash, is this for publishing to LearnDash? If you don't have any CRM connected or tool connected, or it doesn't know what you're using, it might have different ones. And then I'm going to just say in this one, I'm going to say markdown files only, just for this example. And I want one module, 3 to 5 lessons. What I want to do, we'll do let the content decide, because I don't know which is going to go. And what kind of assignments do you want to include? Hands-on implementation, community discussion prompts. We'll do these ones just for fun. And it confirms the answers, and now it's going to go and create the skill. So if you're thinking about, I have a task that I do on a repetitive basis. It's something that if I had a VA that I wanted to ask to do, or if I had someone that I could just go and hand it off and it would go get done for me, those are things that might be a skill. Now I have a framework for skills that we can look at in another video. But just think of it, employee, staff, handoff. Is it something that I can get done for me? Is it something that's worth a skill? And a lot of times I'll just ask Claude, I'll just say, I have this idea for this. Should it be a skill or should it be an agent? What do you think are the important parts before I ask for it to be actually built? So don't be afraid to brainstorm with your department head, your Claude coworker, and just say, hey, this is what I'm thinking of. Give me some suggestions. Claude Cowork now has memory of the previous chats and of your interactions with it. So, these are things you're going to say, hey, is there a better way of doing it? Or we've done it this way in the past. Is this something that we should create a skill for? It's a business meeting that you're having now with people. Now, here's some existing things that are another thing I just want to point out here. So it's gone and it's doing a little bit of a, here's the plan that it created here up on the right-hand side. Created test prompts and evals, run test cases with agents and via sub-agents, create evals and through, and iterate the skill based on the feedback and package the skill. So here's something that just to kind of take a look at is, it said, let me check your additional skills to see if it's something that we can use. So if I have another skill that's there, it's going to go and basically poach from the existing ones. And I had one which is a Zoom lesson builder. I had one which was transcript analyzer, and I had another skill which was the course module writer. These skills were already available, so it's pulling from them to help me build this new particular one. Drafting the skill, webinar to course. Let me pick it up. And I've been running this all morning, so it looks like it's making the conversations shorter in the background. And I want to show you something while that's going on. Make a community member more active. Okay, that's a good one right here. We'll do that one in a second. Here's something that's interesting. And again, I've just been playing around with this. I built this as a WordPress plugin yesterday. And what this one is I was trying to figure out like how much money or time am I saving by having these skills employees and these agents go and do it. So what I asked Claude to do, and I'm just going to open this in the background, I said, you know what, Claude, I want to know how much time I'm saving. So what I did is I had Claude write, and we'll open this one up. Where would be a good one here? Here, I'll show you the screen here. This is a WordPress site in the back end of the WordPress site. And you can see I've built a couple WordPress plugins. Not built, I just told Claude, I want a WordPress plugin that does this, and it built it. One of the ones that I built yesterday was this one here, was my agent logger. And again, I didn't do any of this. It took 10 minutes to do it. And what I did is I said, I wanted to create an ROI dashboard. Wanted to figure out how much money and time I'm saving. So this thing, I think I said $65 an hour, which is low. I just did it arbitrarily, just as an example. But if your time is worth $100 or $200 an hour, I just took 65. I said, I want you to estimate the time that a task would take applying one of these skills. How much would a real person take to do that? And then I said $65 an hour based on the time, and then just try and figure out what was there. So since I started running this last night, we've got 8.8 hours saved, $440 and 69 cents, and 27 or 26 average duration is 26 seconds for the job. I had one error. So this is a bit of a dashboard for me into it, and it shows which was a skill that was running, which was a connector, and which was an automation. And it's got some daily trends and some errors that kind of showed up here. And I can go and see in this one, I can go and find out, what is actually running, how much money or time did I save? This is all stuff that actually ran this morning, the ones that we were just doing the transcript on analyzer and the video announcement email. Those are things that we ran this morning. So, 10 minutes here, an hour here, 2 hours there. It doesn't take long before you're actually saving a whole bunch of time and money. I will show this one in the background. Let me just see if I can do that, because one of the questions was, and this is a hard part, ZProf62, I was looking to make a skill to make my community member more active. And this is a hard part of, I think, of communities, in as much as you're going to have lurkers. You're going to have a lot of people that lurk, and that's okay. And if you don't know what a lurker is, those are people that join, that log in on a regular basis, but don't interact with anyone on the site. And I know in Fluent Community, I won't show it here because it's live, but in Fluent Community, there's an actual members board. And I can see who's on, how many times they've logged in, what they've done or where they've been on the site. I know if they've posted or not posted. I know how many times they've returned, when they joined. All of that is available. And you're going to have a group of people who just come on, but don't want to say anything, and that's fine. But it would be really nice if they would, and there was more user-generated content. So one of the things that I did build is I built an agent, which is my community manager. I wanted a department head that would actually go out and encourage people to get involved in the actual site. So here's a couple things that we can do running in the background. I'll open this one up here as well. If I'm not mistaken, I do have a skill that's available that you can go and install. Where is it? Yeah, so here's one that was there. I did an ambassador program, which is one that you can reach out to members who are involved, heavily involved, and basically get them done. So you can offer them a way to actually go out and help get things going. So that's a skill that I actually built out for it. There's another one. I have community feed poster, which is the one that I actually love because, and this is a great one. If you get this set up, please use this one, because if you have a community, I have tons of conversations that I have with Claude, and I would love to synthesize the conversation and add it as a feed. That's in fact what I did this morning when I was having that conversation. Community structure, if you want to figure out what kind of groups or spaces to have, it's there. I have one for the community welcome sequencer. So if when you join my community, the Training Sites community, you get 8 emails that go out in a series. That was designed from here. Engagement dashboard builder. So this is the one on how the community members are engaging. That one was there. Where's the one that I had? Fluent Community Launch Planner, release notes. I don't think I put that one in. We'll do it as the skill. And is it published as a skill? Maybe not yet. No, it's not there. So I'll do one. Let's do this. And first of all, I'll show you where it is because the description has some great information. It's writing the skill out right there. So we're writing the file. Let me do a new, I think I can do this in the background again. I don't want to break it. So one of the agents that I wanted was one that was, I'm going to do, I wanted to have a community manager. These are the agents. Claude calls them plugins. I call them agents. There's a whole bunch that are ones from Anthropic that are free that you can go take a look at. But I started building my personal ones, and my personal ones are based on the employees that I have. And what we just started in the background about creating a skill, it's the exact same thing here. So in my particular case, I've built some skills, but I don't have them available for sale. I have a partnership manager that goes out and does cold outreach for me to get the community in front of people, to be on podcasts, to be a guest on calls. So that one is up and running now. I have one for proposals that's there. I have a weekly newsletter. So every Friday, what this department head does is it goes to do research of all my tutorials and courses, everything that's been going on in the campus, all the new members, posts. It does AI industry news, and it creates a newsletter that automatically gets created for Fluent CRM and creates an email that I can send out every Friday. The live class prep, the sales prep. But the one that you're thinking about is this one right here. So I'll just click manage. And this is a campus ambassador. And what this one does, it's always on community manager, and it runs morning content. It hypes events, evening engagement sweeps using shared personality and memory system. So what this one does is I have 3 employees with this department head. One is an evening sweep, one is a morning activities, and one is an event driver. These skills, for example, if I do this one here, what the morning event one does, so it does daily content creation and publishing. So what it does is I also have a morning report that runs, which is another agent and skill, and a content scout. So what it's doing, it's looking at work from 2 other agents, and it creates the posts and then posts them using a personality guide, which I created, which is like, if you're doing encouraging stuff, have an encouraging voice. If it's technical stuff, use a technical voice. If it's news, use a news voice kind of thing. So there's the guide there that it says, go read the guide. Gather intelligence, determine today's content, and I have some for each day. Draft the post, and it's got some different types. Get some nevers, check the rules on it, and some of them are cues, for example, and then it goes. That's that one that does it, and that runs in the morning. This one, primary shifting, to full lurker activation and live event attendance cadence. So it can be triggered manually by me by just saying, hey, go and do the event hype or event driver, and it'll go and run it. So it looks for the live events, it looks for people who have not been involved, and it'll go and actually go and reach out to them. The evening sweep one looks for recent feeds, comments on recent feeds, community analytics, and new members since the morning run. And then what it does is it goes through the activity and it replies to unanswered posts, and it welcomes stragglers or people that are here. So you were asking to kind of, make the skill community more active. I have an agent for that now, and that was built I think just last week, and I think it's run 3 or 4 times now. So that's the kind of stuff that's here and that's happening. Just think what we talked about: a newsletter. We've got a community agent. There's a content scout that does content every day for brand new industry news, plus all my competitors. I've got one that gives me a morning brief. I've got ones for sales preps and prompts. These are all people that you can have, and you get started by creating those skills that I was talking about. Special posts of more actively in the community. Yeah, and if you have that, you want to do one, just say, I want to create a skill that does that. Okay, and here's the other one, Brandon Ball. I think I answered this one this morning for you for the transcript editor. And I did it on YouTube, and I'll show you that one because I answered it. There's a couple things you can do here. I'll show them to you while that's kind of working in the background here. Convert webinars. Oh, there we go. Let me show you this one first. That was the skill that we created earlier. That was convert webinars into course modules. So we'll open it up and see what it does. Oh, it said too long. Prompt is too long. See if I can get it to go again. Oh, working on it. We'll try it again. Things happen. Okay, so here is, I do have a skill for you if you want to get started with this skill, and I hope it's not hard-coded. When you download these skills, by the way, if you ever download a skill, please, the first thing I want you to do is when you install it, is, I'll go back to Claude.ai here. When you get Claude, well, get the right place here. When you're in Claude and you do go and you customize things by, adding that new skill, the first thing that you need to do is the community content builder. The first thing you need to do is go and make sure that you edit with Claude. You want to make sure that it's doing your voice, your brand, your business. And there might be places within the skills that you're downloading that it needs a little bit of work or adjustment. So please, the first time you use it, go and make sure you edit it and just say, tell me what you can do and go from there. So I do have one, which is a YouTube transcript one. It's a skill, and I believe I had it here. Don't know if it's there. So I will show you the places to go get it. Here's a service that I use. Brandon, this one is YouTube-transcript.io. There's a couple of these around. This is one that I've used before. So for example, if we'll go pick YouTube here. Where's one that we can get? I'll do one of mine just because I'm selfish. So this is the one that I did yesterday. So here's one that I did yesterday. We'll just go and grab it.
Right now, as you watch this, your brain is being hijacked. You think you're...
Okay, so I have the URL on this one. Insights.io. I got some good news and some bad. There we go. So on this one, you can just paste it in manually, and it will give you the transcript. Now, the thing that's interesting with this one and why I use it is not only it's really, really reliable, but they have an API. And that API, all I did to Claude is I said, here are the details on the API key. What I want you to do is create a connector for it, and it created a connector for it. So I use the API, it's $9 a month, and it will do it in bulk. So this one was a 29-minute video. There's the ID, how to and style, where it's in, and I have the entire transcript, and I can do it with and without pieces, and I can copy it, download it, whatever I want. Insights, and you'll notice too that a lot of the stuff that you may find in Notebook LM, the mind map, study guide, quizzes, highlights, flashcards, they're all here. So, Notebook, I think the graphic part is the really cool thing, but it's ready to go. I can copy the transcript and have it. Now that's one to consider using. The API is here, and I think it's $9 a month. I just gave the page to Claude and said, create a connector. And it basically pulled it out and put it together, which was kind of cool. Okay, so the other one that you might want to use is there's one called SERP API. And this is one that's another service. There's a bunch of them. But what this one does is this one is one that scrapes a whole bunch of different things. So if you're doing more ones that are product organized, like shopping ones, where you need Amazon products, that kind of thing. But they also have at the bottom, they have YouTube Search API. So it now allows you to search ad results, category results, channel results, movie results, playlist results. So you can get like detailed scrapes of a YouTube channel and or video to get everything, including the transcript. So if you're really serious about that and be able to get it, those ones both work very, very well. SERP has an MCP that is, you just say install the SERP API. Just go to the page there, it'll tell you the instructions. The other one for the YouTube transcript one, it was just done really quickly. So the ones that were kind of built in, I never got them to work really well. Brandon, there we go, Birmingham. Skills, do you use skills from other people? How do you protect examples of prompt injections? Yeah, so the I think you're mentioning or talking about it for the open claw stuff. I don't have a great answer for you. I create all of my own. So I've, the 250 that I built, I had Claude build those ones. And all I did is I used the original ones that came from Anthropic, and I built them based on what I wanted to do. If you go, and if you're a little more technical, there are some websites that are available for this now as well with directories. But if you go to something called GitHub, which is what the programmers use, I have, for example, I have an archive of a lot of the skills that I created. So some people have these as public. Some of them are public. So, for example, this is the one, that's the Anthropic one, sorry. This is the one that's from Anthropics. It's free. They give that one away. So, popular ones. Where's mine? Yeah, these are ones that I basically created. Some of them were free and stuff. So, skill creator, lesson description creator, training sites, brand guidelines that were all there. Excuse me. So, you can go to GitHub, open a free account. All you need like is a Google account, and you can go and just do a search for skills files or Anthropic skills, that kind of thing. And there's a whole bunch of them that are available. But yeah, you'll have to be careful. You can open them up and look, or if you download it and you ask Claude, hey, is there anything that shouldn't be in here? Is this safe to install? That kind of thing. I have not used any of the things that are open crawl or open Claude. I've not installed it at this point. And I probably won't. Not I'm more not technical enough. The other thing are the things I want to do, I can do in Claude Cowork now. So I don't think it's necessary to some extent. So let me see if we can get that one running. I maybe asked too much. I think I asked too much there. Skill is 328 lines. It's doing a whole bunch of additional stuff here. I'll make it available after for the download. It's resting tests and stuff, which is unfortunate. The whole point I was trying to get across here with these skills is that all you need to do is go to Claude Code. I say go to Claude Cowork, and all I'm saying is say use my skill creator skill 2, but have a really good idea of what you want done on a regular basis. And if you would tell an employee to do something for you, what is it that you would want them to do? How would you want them to do it? How would you know if it's done well? And what do they need to output? What is it that they're going to give you? Is it a document? Is it a spreadsheet? Is it a PowerPoint? Is it a report? What is it? So just kind of document their standard operating procedures for a single employee that you would just love to hand something off. And then just try it and see what happens. And you'll build out your own library of skills that you can now start saying, hey, I need this done. And, in the case that I was just playing around with earlier, that chat that I had earlier, it was, I was just basically going and saying to this one, and what I did here was, that one was in the chat. Oh, it was in the other one. I just said, hey, I got a live stream today. Send an email out announcing the live stream. Oh, by the way, I need you to put a comment in the community about the live stream telling people it's there. Oh, and I need a script. It's there. Those are all things that save all sorts of time, energy, effort, money for you. And it makes it easy to have fun being creative and doing the stuff that you like doing. And if you're a teacher, if you're a course creator, if you're a coach or consultant, I'm hoping that you like talking to people or you like being in front of the camera and having some fun with people. And my personal goal here is just do as many videos as I can and have them all in my own privately branded campus. And the more that I get into it this year, and this really hit the nail on the head. I'm going to go take a look here. We'll just take another look at the community. Just going to go to the site here for a second. I've been thinking really, really hard about how do you protect an education business. So I'm looking at this and I'm saying, okay, great. It used to be if you had unique content that you could build a business around a unique process or a unique piece of content. You can't do that anymore. That's finished. Doesn't matter if you are a rocket scientist, the content that you are using is now something that if someone did a little bit of work, they'd be able to create themselves. So in terms of having a business model and saying my content makes me unique, I don't think there's any value in that. That's the first thing. Second thing is even with things like skills, I gave away 250 skills here because it took me an hour and a half to build them because I had a list that I wanted and I had Claude build them. I initially thought, hey, I'm going to start selling all of the skills. Now I sell agents because they're more complex with more workflows, but in terms of skills, that's like a course now. You know, you guys, if anyone watches this after, that's something that you can create just by saying, hey, create a skill that does this, and it's gone. Um, the other thing is that you get into this things about how am I going to have an education business. I personally think that it is all about now, I'm calling them flipped cohorts, but I'm building out as many agents and skills that I can have either as proprietary agents with my unique look and my unique process or grouping of skills that has a specific output. But I'm thinking we're going to have to do more and more live working sessions that are about you. And I think, you know, think of it this way. If I'm thinking of it from a teacher or someone who's a course creator and you're thinking of coaching, it's like you're at the front of the room, right? It's like a teacher is teaching from the front of the room. Someone who's giving the course or a coaching call is at the front of the room. Right now, I'm at the front of the room. The stuff that is going to be able to be monetizable is when you are at the back of the room, because all of the content and those processes and stuff, people can find that on their own. But they can't find is use case studies that you've, or applications and implementations that you've done. Those are ones they don't have access to. And they can't find accountability from an agent, not quite yet. And if you can keep on someone and say, hey, you know, you did this, you tried this worked, this didn't work. Have you looked at it this way or did you apply it that way? And then be able to say to someone, hey, you know, you got to have it done before we meet again. So it's like give the agents or the skills to people, have them go do the work, generate the content, go do what they need to do, and then be there in the background to make sure they have the right skills and the right tools available, but be there in the background to give them feedback, guide, and mentor. And that means being live with people again. And if you're going to be live with people again, you need a platform to collect all of these people with a shared interest. And I think, you know, thinking about I'm going to sell my business as a course, or I'm going to have some skills, or a software as a service, which I think still is in trouble as well. Those things can be spun up so quickly now by anyone doing a particular, you know, expertise. Very hard to market. Anyone is getting easier to spin them up. But if you have a group of people who are interested in a specific topic that are in your community that are actively engaged and involved, and you can work on that, that's something that is monetizable in one way or another. Whether it be an agent's, or sorry, as done for you services, done with you services, or do it yourself. And that's the way I look at it. It's like DIY is a free community. I do YouTube videos and repurpose all the content in here. I give it away. That's do it yourself. Done with you is the live coaching programs. And if you're really serious and want some help doing that, I'd love for you not only to join trainingsites.io/join, but join the community for free. And if you want to get involved and really work on your sessions, you can just click right here, upgrade to a campus builder VIP, and we do 4 live me behind the class sessions where we actually work live on your sites, on your skills, using stuff, applying stuff. So that one is available for $97 a month right now. I'd love for you to join the other VIPs. We do live working sessions on Monday evenings, Tuesday afternoons, Wednesday we're here, and then on Friday mornings at 10 we do those. I also have like live mentoring programs. We also have the done for you agency group where we'll build a campus for you. Or if you want, for example, one of the things that we just started to do, just to show you where this is going, another huge opportunity in the AI space with these agents is I have the one agent, and you can buy it right now. You can buy this agent. There's one here, which is my YouTube transcript repurposer. So Brandon, if you're looking about this one, what this one does is it goes, and this is the one I built for myself. So what it does is all I have to do is I do a YouTube video like the one today. And what the first, I just say repurpose this YouTube video. That's the only instruction I give it. What it does is it goes and gets the raw transcript and timestamp using that little tool that I showed you. It does it in the background automatically. What it does is it then has an employee that is really good at analyzing the transcript, and it turns it into a content brief with quotable moments. I have another one that is good at building tutorials based on the transcript in the briefs. So it creates a tutorial and posts it to the community. That also creates that Fluent CRM email notification. It does 2 emails that go out automatically to people as they're added. It adds it to the community feed, and it adds it to my social media posts. So this plugin slash agent is one that does all of the work in the background for me. And if you have these agents, I think you can be able to sell agents that are about your way of doing things. I'm selling these ones now. We'll see what happens with them, but there's a chance to monetize it. And in fact, some people don't want to run this. And the reason I mention it is because, for example, we have one of the things that we just started doing is if you want to have this done for you, I created a service for the agency service. So basically what we do is we just run that automation for you. All you have to do is give us a topic or a YouTube video, and we'll actually go and run it for you so that the social media posts are done, the emails are done, posts into the community are done, tutorials are created, and it's all done automatically for you on your behalf. And we've actually got it set up doing infographics now as well with Blotato, which is another one. To a blog post, social media posts, email to your lists. If you want this done for you, again, that's a service that we have that you might want to create. So how long have I been going here? Holy mackerel, hour and 20 minutes. I think that's enough. Any other last questions before I leave? Do I have skills? No. There. Today, Claude is slow. Yeah, it is. They had some troubles, I think, day before yesterday, and I've been slamming on it pretty hard today too. So we'll see what the scoop is there. Yeah, something went wrong. It's getting stuck. Oh, I'm out of usage. Resets at 10 p.m. We'll see what happens on that one. I had too many skills running in the background. So I want to thank everyone for joining. Like and subscribe to the channel. If you aren't a member of the community, make sure to go below. And the other thing to recognize is the other tool that we have is Fluent Affiliate. So you guys are all affiliates. And if you haven't activated your affiliate account, all you need to do is go to the log into the community, and you'll see in the upper right-hand corner. So you guys can generate some revenue from our site if you want to. Do something there. If I go up in the platform here, upper right-hand corner, you're going to see I've got referral program. You guys are affiliates, so if you haven't already, go and click that button. You'll have the opportunity to log in, and we do have a partner program that you can actually go and be part of. So share the news, spread the news, let people subscribe to the channel, get people in the community, and get in and ask questions. There's no question that is too silly, too beginner, too advanced. I don't know all of this stuff. I'm trying to learn as fast as I can. I'm breaking stuff as fast as I can. And if we don't know it, we'll figure it out and have some fun with it, because it's only going to get easier and faster. And if you can't get your head wrapped around that, especially if you're in a traditional teaching space right now, you are in some deep, deep, deep trouble. I'm talking in the next 45 to 60 days, we're going to see a whole bunch of other amazing stuff. So hang on to your hats. Here we go. Thanks everyone for joining in. We'll talk to you soon. Take care. Expect the best.